Hello and welcome to this little video. So in this video I would like to give you my impression of the game Game of Thrones after completing the main campaign, which took me around 20 hours, and I played the game on the difficulty normal, which in this game is called the Night difficulty. So this game is a role-playing game, and as you might expect, it is set in the Game of Thrones universe. More specifically, it is set just before and during the events in the first book. Now, I don't want to go too much into the story because I don't want to spoil anything. But you get to follow two different characters, and you switch between them, between the arcs in the game. And overall, the story is very much a Game of Thrones-like story, and it fits the theme of the setting, so to speak. And I never once found myself thinking that the story was predictable or generic, but with that said, there were some plot points that I perhaps not liked all that much. And I'm also of the belief that if you examine some plot points too deeply, you will probably find some plot holes. But overall, the story was quite enjoyable. And the fact that you get to follow two different characters have both its good side and its bad side. The good side is that you get to see two different sides of the universe, and you get to see two different perspectives. But the bad side is that when the game jumps between two different stories, you can kind of lose interest in one of them and not be as immersed in both of them. And this is especially the case in the beginning of the game, when the connection between the two different stories isn't explained. Now, the main characters in the game have their own fixed personalities, values, and so on, so you can't forge your own characters from the scratch, but at least I found myself having enough options in the dialogues and so on to keep myself interested, and you can absolutely have your own impact on the story. And the dialogue options were enough for me to feel like a part of the story and not just some silent bystander helping them out in combat. So I thought that the interactivity was good enough in the story. But one thing that annoyed me a bit is that they used the dialogue wheel that Mass Effect made popular. And this game kind of shares some problems with Mass Effect in that regard. And that is that sometimes it's not entirely clear what the different options mean. And that is kind of annoying in a game where choosing between different paths is kind of central. Now, the character development part of the game is for the most part quite competent and what you would expect out of a role-playing game. You get to choose a class and skills and attribute points and so on, and overall it feels very much competent and yeah, good enough. I think the trait system is kind of cool, that you can choose bad traits and good traits and you have to balance them. I think that's pretty neat. One thing that annoyed me a bit was that I found myself having maxed out my skill tree at the higher levels, and perhaps they could have had some more skills in it. But with that said, I should also mention that each of the characters have their own private skill tree. Morse, the ranger, can upgrade his dog. He can sneak around and kill people, and it's pretty fun actually. And the red priest can use fire in different ways, and it's kind of cool that they have their own specific skill tree related to their own character. Now, I found the combat in the game to be good enough. Uh, you have your own skill tree and so on, and you can't pause, but you can slow down time and choose. And you have your stamina that drains and so on, and your unique skill abilities like dog and so on recharges. And overall, it's functional. But with that said, the universe itself kind of it doesn't allow you to fight orcs and the like, so it's man against man, and some people might get a little bit bored of that. But I play the game on the medium difficulty, so I can't really say anything if it's balanced or not on higher difficulty. What I can say though is that the difficulty curve could be a bit uneven sometimes, but I didn't find it to have any bigger impact on the gameplay in itself. And there is another thing I should mention in regards to combat, and that is that you can't load when you're into combat, which is a very strange and annoying decision by whoever made it. So I don't know what's up with that. But overall, I found the game to be quite a competent role-playing game. Every path that is needed for it is there, and I had fun with it. With that said, It is very much a budget game, and sometimes it feels a bit unpolished. There are some really low-res textures in the game, and some stuff in the game just looks awful. And there's a lot of clipping issues. There's also a lot of frame rate drops I had at certain locations, which is a bit annoying. And that is not to mention that some side characters have some extremely god-awful voice actors. The camera can also be a bit annoying in narrow corridors and the like. But overall the game feels like it could have used some more polish. But overall my final impression of the game is quite good. I had some fun with it. It's nothing amazing, don't expect anything revolutionary, but it was a fun enough, competent role-playing game. And nothing wrong about that. Thank you for watching this video, and bye bye bye.